Okay. The number of back rubs given and received in women's dormitories is an index to the amount of lesbian erotic feeling in the atmosphere at that time. For the straight and uninitiated or the repressed, the back rub is the beginning and the end of sensual expression. But for the full-blown lesbian, the back rub is one of the smoothest, most sensual entries into lovemaking. Further, it combines 3 important elements that form the basis for successful lovemaking. It profoundly relaxes and opens the body, it stimulates it, and it conveys a message of caring and tenderness, my favorite word. So many of my favorite words in here. If your lover is too tired for sex at the end of a heavy day, she usually means that she is too tense to even imagine relaxing enough to respond. You will, however, almost invariably find that once the back's tension is smoothed and drained away, the sexually essential parts of the body will wake up refreshed and ready to go. Oh, and now it's going to describe how you do this. First, you undress her, put her in a lukewarm shower for 5 minutes. A hot bath at this point will send her straight to sleep. Take her out. Is this like a physical lift, or is this like an escorting and
yeah.
Okay.
If you have a pallet mover or something
this
like that.
This is really controlled a little
Get
bit.
your
Don't you think
out.
First you undress her. Please ask, first of all. Even if you're in a relationship, consent, again, important, right?
Yeah.
Don't just start taking your clothes off and push her in a shower. We need an update. Okay. And then you put her in a lukewarm shower for 5 minutes. She has no choice in this, whatsoever. Totally trying this when I get home. Okay, and then briskly rub her dry and stretch her out.
Why briskly?
That sounds aggressive to me. That is an aggressive...
That's not tender at all.
No,
Get a well-worn cotton towel.
None of this is, stimulating or relaxing, or you're being, put in things, shoved in things, somebody else's version of lukewarm, whatever that means, Alright, and then you're, briskly dried off, okay, and then you're stretched out, backside up on the bed. Okay. If she has occasional twinges of lower back pain, which she will if you just pushed her in a shower and stretched her out and briskly dried her off, okay, she will be more comfortable with a pillow beneath her pelvis. At least there's some comfort, Okay, so after you have undressed, you straddle her buttocks, but don't sit or put your full weight on her. Your knees and thighs should support you. Oh, okay. So you're in, a good yoga frog position, at this point, I think. A strong frog. Her head should be against the mattress or resting on a thin pillow. Her arms should be flat by her sides. Since the day's cumulative anxieties and strains tend to deposit themselves in the shoulders, sometimes to a painful extent, start by leaning forward and working them both. At first lightly and caressingly, but with increasingly deeper pressure coming from the heels of your hands. Push and rub hard into the muscles. Your goal is to overwhelm the armor of tension resisting you. Sometimes this is so intense you may have to ball your hands into fists and pummel the shoulder area. We are continuing in the aggression, right? Your facial expression is everything. Okay.
I've read all of it, and every time it surprises me.
I've never heard a massage sound less inviting. This is
and especially sensual massage.
No, this is terrible.
Nothing about this is making me relax.
My shoulders are this, reading it. I'm trying to reject it.
First I'm cold from the lukewarm shower that I have not agreed upon.
Yeah, lukewarm. Who takes lukewarm showers? Are you a lukewarm?
No.
I am full hot.
It's either gonna be hot or cold.
Don't come at me with lukewarm water.
I don't like feeling like I'm showering in sweat. I don't like that.
No, and that's what it would feel like.
Yeah.
I need it to be hot, hot water.
Yeah.
Hot or cold. It's one or the other. You can't be in the in between. Yeah. That's when you first move out and get your first apartment and you can only have lukewarm. No, that's it.
Oh,
it doesn't
for a
get
while
hot,
I didn't figure out the shower where I lived.
I don't want to go back to that life.
No.
Right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so where are we here? All right, so we're fisting in the back to release tension. Okay. Sometimes this is so intense. We've been there. You have to ball up your hands. Yep, fist, pummel is a word I never want used in any kind of sexual, sensual, or relaxing situation. Okay, so I think we should just remove the word pummel in regards to women in general.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we can just cross that out.
We're going to rewrite the book.
Red pen through pummel.
Yeah.
Okay. Gradually move beneath the shoulder blades and onto the rib cage, pressing and rubbing with your palms flattened against her body. At intervals, return to the shoulders. At these times, introduce a squeezing and lifting motion. Then return to the back proper, giving particular attention to each little knob of the spine with the tips of your fingers. The lower back, the tailbone, should come last, and her sensitivity in this area should be your guide to how much pressure you exert. Here, use your fingers, the 3 middle ones, as if they were a long-handled spoon with which you're whipping a bowl of cream with light, rapid movement. I need like a YouTube video to show me like how that works. All of you young aspiring lesbians out there, do not start with 3 fingers. That's no. Nobody's gonna like that. If she is entirely relaxed, and she should be by this point because you have pummeled her and whipped her with the 3 lukewarm shower, you've dried her off like she's a car basically. All right, her whole body should jiggle in rhythm with your fingers. Okay. I'm really uncomfortable.
I'm imagining this in my head right now.
This is not usually how we do this. Usually we're like silent in the corner while you're like straight reading, and I'm enjoying.
Yeah, I'm having real reactions behind the camera right now.
Okay, so maybe it's because I was inspired by like drag story time.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling very interactive today.
I like it.
All right. Keeping your hands lubricated with lotion. The words that they choose to use, like, you can't just say, like, keep lotion on your hands. Like, keep your hands lubricated with a lotion during the back rub. Okay.
Did they say just butter again?
Butter?
Could you just...
They
They offered butter for
sex.
anal sex, yeah. Something as simple as butter. And then Baby was like, if anybody puts butter in my
butter
we're gonna have
in
a
your
problem.
asshole?
Yeah. It's like lube.
Who wrote this? We need to call up whoever wrote
They're
this.
dead.
They're dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
Are they?
Yes.
Do they have like children or we need to follow
We're gonna have
up.
to contact their estate for sure.
We will, yeah.
You need to get whoever wrote this, their kids to read this out loud.
Yeah. Maybe they should read a section. That's a good idea.
Start understanding more about their parents.
I'm sure they read it.
So that's why
And
we're
what
always
butter
out
was
of
used
butter.
for in their household.
They're like, why are we always out of butter? You guys don't make anything.
Oh. Oh. Would vegans use butter in the asshole, or is
Maybe
that
coconut
like?
oil?
I mean, we're off. We're out. That's
Yeah,
another
let's
book.
keep going
Okay. So, keeping your hands lubricated with a lotion during the back rub not only facilitates their swim across her back, but also increases the sensory content of the experience for her. Do not, however, pour lotion onto her back, because that would be too much. That is crossing.
After
that
you
is
do all
crossing
those
the
things
line.
to her without asking.
The shock of something cold will produce quite the wrong effect.
The pummeling, though.
Right, the pummeling and the whipping, and the 3 fingers and the lukewarm assault. All of that is good, but don't you dare put lotion directly on the back. Don't you even think about that shit. Okay. Alright, so rubbing the lotion into your hands first will warm it up and transmit both silkiness and your body heat. Okay? The crucial difference between a back rub and a lesbian back rub is in the matter of your ultimate goal, sex. Hold on.
What?
Okay, quick pause. So, this is the most selfish back rub. Like, like you have an agenda? Like,
So this whole
let
time
me
you're
shove you in
pummeling...
this shower, let me
Baby,
calm
I
you
know
down.
you're tired, and all you want to do is go to sleep.
But let me
Yeah.
prepare you for some vigorous sex so that I can get off.
This is legitimately saying, let's talk about, we're going to revisit consent again. Okay, so let's talk about, like, lesbian number 1 at home is like, I want to have sex when you get home. Like, that's what I want to do. Lesbian number 2 had a awful day, maybe not even an awful day, maybe just a hard day, maybe he was busy all day, maybe he was stressed. Like, last thing that they want to do is come home and do something for another person, right? Lesbian number 1 is
Disguised
like,
as a tree.
okay, cool. I know you don't want to do this, so let me, like, totally, trick you into, well, first let me, like, shove you in a shower,
Condition
lukewarm you, pummel you, dry you off,
Yeah.
stretch you out, and then let's do this massage thing and
So you're
all of
confused
that
beyond anything, and at the end you're like, alright, well, whatever.
because I want to have sex.
And that's the only difference between lesbians and everybody else.
This is legit, like, if your girlfriend doesn't want to have sex, here's how to make her do that.
Yeah.
I don't approve.
I don't approve of that.
I don't approve of this. Okay.
We do not approve of this
I give
back
no...
section.
No. Don't condone any of this.
Also, butter on the asshole.
I definitely don't condone butter anywhere near an asshole. That's a hard no. Hard pass, hard no. Where are we at now? What else are we forcing? Okay. I can't... It literally says, don't forget your ultimate goal, which is sex. Like, not to...
It is the joy of lesbian sex.
This is insane! This is insane. Okay. Oh, alright. So while you're rubbing out the back's exhaustion, you can occasionally let your fingers insinuate themselves around her front. So this is the point in which what you have disguised as a massage becomes the sex that they didn't want. You're just creeping the hands around. No, you need to leave this relationship. Like, whoever is in this relationship, you leave it. Like, this is awful. Okay, so let your fingers insinuate themselves around to her front, cupping the breasts, teasing a nipple. You can use your mouth too and surprise her with a well-aimed kiss on the tailbone. Are you guys having a problem? I have a problem with this. This is awful.
I
have a problem with
That's
the
why we're
well-aimed.
rewriting it.
This is like...
That's why we're so interested in it, because it's awful in so many ways.
This is so awful.
And this
It is
there's-
wonderful in a lot of ways too. There are a lot of
is, yeah.
gems and beautiful things in there, but it is awful, and we need to rewrite it.
It's
and
incredibly
we need to
dated.
create an evolving.
Are we literally trying to, like in a part of the whole consent conversation, we're trying to, like, talk about how if you're in a relationship that doesn't give you access to someone, like, that's just not... Right? Like, isn't that supposed to be, like, a part of our conversation? Like, just because you're married, just because you're in a relationship, like, that doesn't mean that if you want to have sex, like, you have access to that person, and you can kind of just
do whatever you want.
do what this
Manipulate
is, like,
them into-
describing. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't like it. Okay. So, you can run your tongue instead of your fingers up and down her spine, and as a finale, you can stroke her buttocks. And when you know she's ready, without missing a beat, you can spread her. Oh. In parentheses. By now, she's utterly compliant. What? Okay, alright. You can spread her legs and begin making love at either the anus or the vagina. I guess this is where the butter comes in. If she has a pillow beneath her pelvis, you can even reach her clitoris. That's it. That's where it ends.